guys, welcome back to our channel. So today we're doing a little series called our Health and Beauty series. So we're going to be covering some of the key nutrients and minerals for feeling good and looking great. So today we're actually going to cover magnesium. So we're going to talk about some of the benefits of magnesium, getting enough magnesium into your diet and into your body, and how to go about doing that.
So magnesium is so important for our health because it's one of 7 essential minerals. It also happens to be involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body.
That includes like your metabolism, how that functions. Also your nervous system's a really big one. So oftentimes if you're low in magnesium, you can get muscle cramps or like a twitching eye, which is like my first signal that I have low magnesium.
Or even hiccups is common as well.
And some people get like little palpitation feelings as well. Of course, if you have palpitations, you might want to look into
that a bit further. But
why? Because it could have many other causes, but anything to do with those nerve impulses. We'll get into some of the really key benefits of magnesium. The first one we'll talk about is bone health. So that's really important for us women, or if you're dealing with osteoporosis. So magnesium is known to be really important for preventing or helping with conditions like osteoporosis. You know, we often think of calcium when we think of bones, but there are other minerals that make up healthy bones, and magnesium is one of them.
And so the next huge system is our nervous system, and most of us know that magnesium can really help with cramping, especially if you're doing a lot of exercise and things like that. So magnesium is really soothing for the nervous system, and at the same time helps with things like poor sleep and insomnia in a similar way, because it helps us to really get into that parasympathetic state where the nervous system just relaxes.
Yeah, so anxiety sufferers can often benefit from magnesium. You know, that combination of how it helps muscles and the nervous system means it's also important for heart health.
So magnesium is also really important in our metabolic health, specifically with supporting insulin sensitivity. That's really helpful for people who are suffering from things like type 2 diabetes or insulin sensitivity.
Yeah, so like anything that comes down to those blood sugar issues. So whether you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, it could help to use some magnesium or make sure you have more in your diet. And because of magnesium's role in producing ATP, or like our cells' energy, it's also really helpful for our energy levels. So not only your metabolism and insulin and how that works, but also just feeling more energy. So if you suffer with low energy, you may want to look into magnesium if that's low.
And then interestingly, magnesium has also been found to help with things like migraines and PMS.
Yeah, there are a few studies around that have some interesting results. So they're saying that women with PMS symptoms were often measured to have a low magnesium level, and then they've also found some links between decreased migraines and, you know, supplementing of magnesium.
Now we're going to move on to how to get magnesium. So it's worth mentioning that the RDI for magnesium is about 310 to 400, depending on what health organization you're living under. But that's
for women.
Yeah.
So adult women.
Men are more like 400 and over. So there are a number of food sources of magnesium, and they're mostly going to come from plants. So we're looking at a lot of leafy greens, so things like spinach and Swiss chard, and then also things like nuts, so your almonds,
seeds. I think sunflower seeds are quite high, and then you've got like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, potatoes have surprisingly got a bit of magnesium, and avocados.
So at the same time, we want to reduce anything in our diet that's going to bind with magnesium and stop it from being absorbed. Because at the end of the day, we're not what we eat, but we're what we absorb. Things that are going to bind to magnesium in our gut include things like phytates, oxalates, and even tannins.
So these are all sort of classed as anti-nutrients. And we've talked about phytates a fair bit. So phytates are the anti-nutrients that we find on our nuts and seeds and on grains, which is why we activate them by soaking, well, we avoid grains to begin with, but we can activate nuts like almonds and things.
And then we've got oxalates. So oxalates are found in a lot of our leafy greens. And they can be reduced by cooking it down. So people that are doing a lot of,
Kale
smoothies, using kale raw, that's not really highly recommended. Definitely, to reduce that oxalate content, you can steam your greens.
You'd want to steam or cook things like kale, spinach, and Swiss chard. And the last one is tannins. So you're probably familiar with the name tannin, and it comes from, it's in tea and coffee. So it's not so much about not drinking tea or coffee, you just don't want to drink them at meals because those tannins will bind with minerals such as magnesium and make them difficult to absorb. So having said that, you might be eating a lot of magnesium rich foods and then avoiding those anti-nutrients, but it's actually pretty easy to still run low and not hit the amount of magnesium that your body needs, just because our soils are quite depleted nowadays.
Yeah, so because of all these modern farming methods that we use, we're not getting a lot of those good minerals into our soil, so they're not being absorbed by the plants and incorporated into that plant. So you might want to look at supplementing if you think that you could be low in magnesium.
So supplementing with magnesium, it's pretty safe as far as supplements go. The warning that you've taken too much in a supplement is that you'll probably get an upset stomach and diarrhea. But having said that, some people use it quite successfully for things like constipation. So that's a trick to have up your sleeve. And the other one is if you have things like kidney issues, you may want to look into supplementing under the supervision of a doctor or asking your doctor. Otherwise, it's easy to get a magnesium supplement. You can get the powders so that you have in water.
Yeah.
And you want to get a chelated magnesium. So that's a form of magnesium that's more bioavailable, so we can absorb more easily. And you'll know it's chelated if it has ATE at the end. So like magnesium citrate, magnesium glycinate. Malate, I think, is another one. There's quite a few different types that you can get, but they're all good. And the one point about taking a supplement is you'll want to take it away from food. So if you're having the oral supplement, you want to have it right before bed or in between meals, just because it can interfere with how you absorb your nutrients from your food.
And then apart from oral supplements, you can also look into taking magnesium topically, so through the skin. So magnesium is known to be absorbed through the skin. It's probably not going to be as bioavailable as, say, taking it in an oral supplement, but it does definitely help to boost your levels, and you can feel the difference, I think.
And especially, if you've got sore muscles, you can put it on the
straight
exact
to the
spot.
area.
Yeah, so you can get a gel. I find the gel's quite sticky, I would put it on and then leave it for maybe half an hour before a shower.
Yeah.
But you can get sprays that are quite easy to wear and you probably won't be too bothered by it.
Yeah, and then of course you can take a magnesium salts bath or an Epsom salt bath. So that's really lovely as well. Or you can do a foot bath as well.
Yeah, if you don't have a bath, you can just do it as a foot soak. It's still really effective. I think the main difference is you can get magnesium chloride salts or you can get Epsom salts, which are magnesium sulfate. They both help to boost those magnesium levels, but I like the Epsom salts because they have a bit more of a detoxing effect. Helps your detox pathways, your sulfation pathway. I used that so much when I had eczema. Epsom salts are really helpful for that.
Okay guys, so that wraps up our first episode of our health and beauty series. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comment section below.
And if you want to see the rest of the series and more videos just like this, then please hit subscribe.
And other than that, we'll see you in our next video. Bye guys!